And welcome to the first ever episode of Big Blue Breakdown. I'm Matthew Lyle here, joined by my co-host Christopher King of the Hill. He's going to hate me for that name. We got just a short show for you tonight. We got a producer behind the mic of RTF Productions, Mike Bucky. What's going on, Mike?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's going on? So we're going to talk a little UK football here this afternoon.
That's not what a lot of people are used to hearing, but we're going to give you a little something for
Hey,
it.
football is life over here, man. Football is life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So what do you got for us?
So we're going to just do some picks here, just some nice, bold picks. I mean, we're sitting here at early July. Football starts in about a month. So
September.
It starts in about a month.
All right.
Yeah, it starts about a month.
I'll give you that.
So let's just get some picks going on here. So first game of the season, we have Central Michigan. Who do you guys got on that?
I'll go first on this one. I think it's going to be a good one. I don't know if that's what Kentucky fans want to hear, playing Central Michigan. They got a really good running game. They lost their leading rusher, and they do have a new quarterback. But the question also remains, how will our quarterback perform? We're moving on from Stephen Johnson to Touchdown Terry, I believe is what they like to call him. I think Benny has a big game. I got Kentucky going with a win, 28-20. I don't think the score is indicative of actually how it's played. I think Kentucky gets out big, and then in the late they let Central Michigan score. What say you, Chris?
Yeah, I'll agree with you, man. I know earlier we were talking earlier this week that this might be a little bit closer than us Kentucky fans would like. I like that score. I'm going to go a little bit lower. I'm going to say 24-14. Wildcats win.
Okay. Well, we both got them starting 1-0. Who we got next?
We got FL. Shoot, I'm not registering who that is right
Florida?
now. Yeah.
Florida Gators?
Yeah, the Florida.
The Swamp.
Yeah, FL. We'll just.
You want to start with this one, Chris?
Oh, Lord. Okay. Well, it has been 30 years plus since we have beat Florida in a football game.
1986.
But this is my bold prediction. We get it done in Gainesville and finally beat Florida.
Okay, you are going in a much different direction than I am. I think last year
Yes,
was
sir.
our opportunity. We've had our opportunities the last couple of years at home. I don't think this is it. We go down there with. They got a new coach. They're in the swamp. That defense is going to be swarming. That running game, we always have trouble stopping it. I think we're going to get down early, and it's just not going to matter. I have us losing 42-7.
And I do believe it's a
think it's
prime
gonna be-
time game too. It's a 7 or 8 o'clock game. So
I
that
would imagine, especially with the SEC network,
That's why
what
it's gonna be
always
jumping.
cracks me up about Kentucky now. It's really a good thing. The SEC network, we don't really get the big matchups that CBS wants to show, or that ABC primetime game, but we're the best of the rest. So the SEC network usually likes showing Kentucky, Florida, Kentucky, Georgia, those type of games.
All right. So moving on. Next home game we got Murray State.
That's going to be a big one. It's going to be a bounce back game. I don't think we're going to struggle in this one. I got us winning 40-10. I think once we get the ball rolling, I could see Benny Snell going for 4 touchdowns that game. I don't think it'll be close. What about you, Chris?
I don't even see it being that close. Murray State, I say they put about 3 up on the board, and this will be a cupcake game, warm up for the next week when Mississippi State comes to Lexington.
So just jumping into game number 4 here, Mississippi State. Who we got?
I think that's going to be a close one. I think the Dogs do take a step back, losing Mullins to Florida. It is at Kentucky. I will say I think this is the peak to the Kentucky season. I think this is when you see Kentucky's a very interesting football team. I think this is when you see us get to our height before the lack of depth starts to kick in. So I think we're going to play really good this game. I mean, I got us winning 24-21, but I think this will be one of our better games we play. What about you, Chris?
I agree with you, man. That score sounds great. I think we'll put up a little bit more on the board. I don't know. Mississippi State's one of them teams that one year they're horrible, the next they're great. They seem to come out of nowhere. But I see Kentucky winning at least by 14 in this game.
Oh, okay. Wow. You actually have them pulling away. Just historically,
Absolutely.
I don't see Kentucky really winning any conference game by a lot. Even like the Missouri game, I believe last year or the year before, where we jumped out, I want to say 35-7. We for some reason we tend to take the foot off the gas, and even though I think it was 2 years ago, even though I don't feel like the game ever gets close, the score sure shows it. And I think that's what you're going to have here with Mississippi.
I just don't think they had that killer mentality yet, like the Alabama, where we want to score 80,
absolutely. I think
80
that
on
comes
you.
with depth.
Yeah, and just to jump on that point here, like this teams like Alabama, LSU, they have to run up the score to make that playoff for the BCS. I don't think UK will be in that talk. So them running 80 at points, there's no need for that.
But I actually go not to get too off topic there. I actually think Bama and LSU and Georgia doesn't need to run up the score, because the sheer fact you win the SEC alone is going to get you one of those 4 playoff spots, as long as you don't tank and lose 4 or 5 games.
Absolutely. Nowadays, it's pretty much a guarantee.
Yeah, SEC champion gets a spot in. You go through too much to not. And the SEC is just too much of a money grab for their viewers in football. They're not going to. The committee's not going to let that opportunity slip through their hands.
Yeah. So speaking of conference here, South Carolina, who you guys got?
Kentucky's won that 4 straight. Really, maybe even sent. I've drawn Spurrier home a little earlier than he wanted to in his career. I think we make it 5.
Oh.
I think we're playing the best that we are this season. At this point in the season, it's going to be a gritty game. South Carolina really gets to going around this time. They started off slow last year. I think they started a little better this season. I have us beating South Carolina 14-10, maybe even a comeback, being down maybe 10-3 going into the 4th, and 2 Benny Snell touchdowns getting us the win. What about you, Chris?
I like that. I totally agree there. I'm going to give us a little bit more credit this game.
Okay.
I'm going to have us winning at least 17-10.
All right. Well, let's just go ahead and jump into the next game here. Texas A&M at Texas A&M.
Hey, that one's on the road. New opponent, new environment. Our fans we're not used to playing there. We haven't really played them in a while. We're not used to their style. We actually haven't played them since 1953. We've played them twice. We won 1, we lost 1. This is a new era for Texas A&M. Jimbo Fisher in town. I say this is going to be a big win for them, a big loss for us. I got us losing 44-3.
Chris, go ahead.
I give us a little bit more credit there in this game. Like you said, new opponent. We probably won't even put up at least 10 on the board in this game, but I'd like to see it a little bit closer. But like you said, Jimbo's in town. He's going to bring that attack mentality, and that team is going to be a team to watch.
Now, do you think, just in general, our defense is going to step up? I know in the linebacker position and some of those safety and secondary positions, we're bringing a lot of veterans, but also that was an area of a concern last year. We got ate quite a bit in that secondary. Do you see us coming together? I was a little let down by our corners. You know, you got 2 guys, 6'4", 6'5", coming into their junior year, and I don't feel like I saw what I wanted to see.
Yeah, I think the secondary picks it up this year. Linebacking core picks it up this year, but we've got to come up with something on the defensive line. We've got to. If we're going to compete in the SEC East, we've got to have a good defensive front.
Yeah, and we can't afford any more misses, such as we had really with Matt Elam and some of the bigger recruits that he's had.
Well,
absolutely not.
So let's go ahead and jump into the next game. I guess a bounce back game. Vanderbilt at home. Who do you guys got?
Yeah, that's a home game.
Vanderbilt still has a football team.
Hey, I will not mark them out. It seems like every year you try to dog on Vanderbilt, they end up beating us. This is a home game. This is a must-win at this point, because at this point we realize we let 2 of them slip away with Florida and Texas A&M. I think we get a big. I think this is just like that Missouri game. We get a big lead earlier. We hop up, maybe 28-0, 28-7. We get a little lax as the game goes on. I actually have us winning 35-31.
Chris?
I like this game. Like I said, I didn't even remember that Vandy had a football team. It's homecoming. This is homecoming weekend for us, and we're going to get on the gas early and not let up. I'm going to go ahead and predict by third quarter we've got second string in and at least 40 points on the board.
Oh wow! And what? Okay, so we got 40 up. What do they have? Single digits? Less than 20? What are you thinking?
Less than 20.
Okay.
less than 20.
Hey, I think that'd be a good score. That'd really be setting us in the right direction as we approach one of our toughest, in fact, the toughest stretch in the season.
So then let's go ahead and pick the next game. Missouri, the Missouri Tigers. We travel there, Columbus, Missouri,
This one,
or Columbia, Missouri.
this one's going to be you're going to hold your head. This one's going to make you a little sick, I think, after we watch this. This game's going to remind me a lot of the Ole Miss game from last year. You really should have had it. I think we're going to blow a lead. They got a big returning offense. They got a strong quarterback that really chewed us up. I think we're going to have a lead. I think we're going to say, hey, we should win this, and then they're going to score in the last minute. I want to have more faith in our defense than I am, but on the road, I think this is going to be tough. I got us losing 38-34.
Yeah, I agree there. I see us being up at least 7 by halftime, and this being our third SEC game in a row, we're going to blow a lead, and they will score late fourth quarter to beat us, maybe even by a field goal. Who knows?
Exactly, I can see that. Like you said, a field goal, maybe a pass. I'd really hate for it to be one of the passes like Ole Miss got us on, where they just moved down the field, and you thought, hey, there's not enough time for this, and then we just get mossed on in the end zone to take a loss that really we had no business losing.
All right, well, let's go ahead and jump into the next game here. Georgia at home.
Hey, this tells a story. I've seen this so many times over the last couple of years. It wasn't so bad last year. I think the last couple have been somewhat better, but I just see this one. The Dogs are going to just be too good. They've been up there. They've been competing with Bama on the recruiting trail. They do got some new faces at some new positions. I know their quarterback broke his non-throwing hand. I think new faces, same results. I think they jump out ahead early. We get some garbage touchdowns late. I have us losing 52-14.
Ouch.
I don't even get that close.
Hey, there's been some bad ones. 63-3. 59-0. So I'm not arguing with you on that one.
Yeah, I don't even see us putting up at least 14 on the board in this game. This is going to be an ugly blowout. Ugly blowout.
The only reason I'm going to 14, I think Snell, hopefully he's not, I don't want to bring any bad voodoo on him, but hopefully by this point he's still got quite a bit left in the tank. I think he has a fire and a passion. I could see him busting in at the end zone at least once.
All right, so
yeah.
Sorry, Chris.
No, I agree with that. He'll bust in late in the end zone, but within probably 3 minutes to go in the game.
Yeah, understandable. I can see that certainly.
All right, well, let's move on to the Tennessee game. I believe this is at Tennessee. Do we bounce back?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay, hey, take this one.
Hey.
I like your optimism.
We absolutely bounce back. Absolutely. I think we put it on Tennessee this year, and at least win by 21.
You know what? I would love to do that. I love the optimism. I can't wait to talk to you if that happens, but I can't go that route. I think it's going to carry over. It's going to be like a bad party. We're going to have a hangover coming into that next one. I actually see us getting down 21-0 at halftime. Now in the second half, we wake up a little bit. We make it a little bit more respectable. I actually see us getting within a score, but I have us losing 27-24 on the road. There's just something. It's like Florida. There's just something in that air that makes that streak continue. And we beat them with Matt Rourke a couple years ago, and then right down the crapper we win again. We beat them last year.
Absolutely.
I would love to make them the new South Carolina. I would love to make it 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row.
That's not going to happen.
8 out of 10, something like that. I can't get behind it. Man, I hope you're right, and I would be super excited if that occurs.
Well, let's see if we can beat another Tennessee team. Middle Tennessee, next game up on the schedule.
Oh, this is senior day, and I see us showing up big. I mean, it's Middle Tennessee State, guys. I mean, it's like we're playing Girl Scout Troop 228, and it will be a good warm-up game.
Middle Tennessee is much improved. They're a much improved team.
Yeah, they are. But I see Snell. This will be Snell's breakout game. He's going to turn on senior day, and get ready for that horrible team that we got to travel to the next week and beat them for the Governor's Cup.
Chris, I'm there for you again. I like it. I love the roses and dandelions that you're skipping through with this schedule. But I'm very concerned by the time we get to this point. When I look at this Middle Tennessee Raiders team, Blue Raiders, and I see that the offense they got a returning quarterback. Right now we're probably sitting at 5 wins. I see this one. It just jumps in my eyes, or it jumps in front of my eyes that Southern Mississippi. Just blowing that lead. I actually think we pull it out. I think it's going to be a mixture of that Southern Miss game and that Austin Peay game from a couple years back where we just came out dead and we actually pulled it out. I got us winning 31-24, but I don't think it's going to be as fun as a lot of fans think. I think that's going to play into it. I don't think it's going to be a sellout. I don't think the fans are going to be feeling it. They're going to be chatting with each other, saying, "Hey, this is going to be an easy win." And then we look up and we're in a dogfight. So I think we're going to pull it out, but I think it's going to be a little closer.
And speaking of the fans, like this is about the time of year when those UK fans start to roll out. Like, let's be honest, the basketball season is right around
especially with this
the corner.
Team we got.
I mean,
here we're going to talk about that at a later date.
I have this game circled as a trap game. I feel they'll be overlooking, ready to play the cards, and I really hope they don't lose because they need this win to get into a bowl. But I definitely have that one circled as a trap game.
Now, Chris, I think we're going to win. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think we're going to blow.
Yeah. And speaking of Louisville, last game of the season, Louisville Cardinals. We traveled to Louisville here. Who you guys got?
This is a hard one for me because I hate that team that wears red. But I see us going into Louisville and winning by 14. Yes, I'm calling it now.
Ooh.
We're going to win by 14. We're going to take the Governor's Cup back to Lexington.
Hey, I'm there with the win. Now, I do think this is a story that can have two different endings. If we come into Louisville with 5 wins, I think we lose. I don't think we get the bowl win. Mark Stoops just hasn't impressed me enough to say, hey, we can become bowl eligible versus Louisville. Now, if we come in with 6 wins, we're sitting at 6 and 5. I got us for a win. You know, as long as the bowl game isn't righty. It's the first game without Lamar. I think at this point, Pass is going to have a pretty rough first year as a starter. I think we come away with a 24-17 win if we already have our 6th win. That score flips if we're sitting at 5 wins. So I have us either finishing at 7 and 5 or 5 and 7.
So let's get this on the record, Matt. Win or loss? Let's right now call it win or loss.
Right now we're
Right now.
against Louisville?
Right now.
Right now it's a win.
Okay.
But I'm just saying
That's the win.
That asterisk there. If we drop one of those I said we're going to, and we don't make it up somewhere else, especially if we lose to Middle Tennessee State, that could I'm them going to have to switch on that. But as of right now, I got that being a win.
Okay. So
So you
go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
so you think if we go in with 6 wins, bowl eligible, we tank?
No, other way around. I think we go in with 6 wins. We come in Freebird, and we
The confidence is riding high.
We whip the ball everywhere. The line's blocking. But if we go in there needing that win to go to a bowl, that's when I think everything just gets a little tighter, and I don't think we win.
Wheels fall off the train?
I do, and I hate to say it, but we've been there too many times. We've been there
Absolutely.
with 5 wins. One time, if I'm not mistaken, one time we had the game. They were down to like their backup or 3rd-string quarterback. Some dude from Lexington comes in and beats us. And then the next year, we get, I want to say, a 24-point lead. Lamar Jackson comes in and just embarrasses us in the second half. So I just don't see enough that if we need that win for a bowl eligibility, that we're going to get it there.
Okay. So just to break down what we have here, like we have Chris. You have UK going 9-3.
9-3, yes, sir.
It's very bold prediction, I think, on this side of thing, but 9-3.
And that's a win against Florida, also.
Yeah, we definitely have that.
I would love that, but and I know I'm not by no means am I the first person to say this in the Big Blue Nation, but I don't think that this year improving as a team, improving as an organization, improving as a program goes hand to hand with wins. I think 6-6, 5-7, and you can actually get better. Last year we just had so many home games. We had a couple of down teams. I think I heard somewhere that every team but Mississippi State and maybe somebody else improved this year, like exponentially. And then we're coming in with a new kicker and a new quarterback. I'm very nervous about that.
Well, and Matt, you have them going 7-5. I definitely see that as a doable thing here, but only time will tell. So guys, tune in next week to Big Blue Nation here, and we'll cover some basketball next week. Final thoughts, Chris?
I just want to say thanks for having me, guys. Everybody out there listening in La La Land, hope you enjoyed it, and please keep tuning in.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Hey, and one more thing. I know you kind of wanted to talk about this. I got a couple more minutes to spare. I know you want to dive in on Frank Ramsey.
Yes, sir.
1951 NCAA champ, 7-time NBA champ, retired number 23 for the Boston Celtics, and he was one of the first actual sixth men that was a good player and just came off the bench.
The original sixth man.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. I mean, he ranked second all time. Kentucky's rebound list, 40 shy of Dan Easel. I mean, this guy was the first-round draft pick in 1953, inducted to the Naismith Memorial Hall of Fame in 1982. He was an integral part of Kentucky's only undefeated season in basketball. I know people are going to say, oh, we didn't win a national title that year, but we weren't eligible to play. But this man's a legend. He's a legend, and he's definitely worth talking about. Also, he would have been 87 on Friday. And I know, as a big Kentucky basketball fan, it kind of hurts to not have him here.
No, hey, I'm right there with you, man. And I just found it, when you talk about this, I found it so interesting. Everybody wants to get up in LeBron's rings, Jordan rings, 6 more than 3, all this. The man secretly has 7, no secret, but he quietly has 7 rings. I mean,
with one team.
With one team. And
with one team.
You can make the argument, Bill Russell, there was 10 teams back in the time. I mean, talk about the real number 23. The man had 23 retired and won 7 rings, not to mention won 1 in college as well. So, hey, nobody's going to put him in there as the GOAT conversation in the NBA, but I think it's fun to throw him in there with that, with, like I said, with that championship pedigree.
Absolutely.
All right, well, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week. We're out.
Big Blue Breakdown.
All right.